Last Sunday was the Baseball Hall of Fame Enshrinement Day. You had players, a fan favorite player in Ichiro Suzuki. You had a great player in CC Sabathia. Uh, Billy Wagner goes in there. It felt like a day that everybody should be tuned into. But yet, baseball schedules a full slate of games on the same day as the Hall of Fame enshrinement. Why are they doing this to themselves? Why are they not giving those people their own day to be celebrated? Why is this not something that is on, a big network, not just lost on MLB Network, something that's on, an ABC or a CBS? Why is there not a game in that area? Because you've had the Little League Classics. This weekend we have the Motor Speedway game. Why does baseball not build something up there? In the off season, you can have Little League teams play there, or you can have high school teams, college teams, whatever. So it could be used for other people to come in when there is downtime. It's just so strange to me that baseball wouldn't try to get as many people up there for a game, surround the Hall of Fame with what it deserves, and really celebrate these players, because that's what it's all about. That's the whole point of the Hall of Fame, is to celebrate the greats of the game. And to have a full slate of games and games going on. I think that there was a Mariners game going on as Ichiro's on stage, talking about his career. It just doesn't seem right to me.
There was definitely a Yankee game, Coca, going on while CC Sabathia was giving his speech, because Cashman was right next to me doing exactly what I would have been doing were I still to have been president of the Marlins. He's checking his game, watching his game. That said, I get what you're saying. Let me give you some facts that I don't think they'll help you become less unhappy, and I don't think they'll make sense, but they make business sense. There are 26 Sundays. Sundays are important. 13 of the teams are hosting on a particular Sunday. You don't want to give up a weekend date. That's number one. Number two, you're not going to extend the season by a day or a week, because the deal you have in your October window for playoffs with Fox, with Turner, Warner Brothers, with ESPN, it is all pre-scheduled what windows playoff games will be in. You'll recall last CBA when they had to move everything by a week, it was an entire Megillah that was a nightmare. So just skipping a game, making there be no game, like even yesterday on the deadline, you had 3 games when the goal is to have 0. Next, the Hall of Fame itself. Big, unbelievably important. If you have a relationship with the players, if you know the players, if it's your team. Hall of Fame numbers in general, they were great. Viewers this Sunday, more people watched it than in previous years because of Ichiro, because of CC, Billy Wagner, Dave Parker, Dickie Allen, whatever your reason is. But the reality is that the revenue that is generated for a Sunday game, for the league to have its Sunday games, is far greater. So that's that issue. Second, there used to be games up in Cooperstown. There'd be a Hall of Fame game. There were times when there were regular season games, times when there were exhibition games. The fact is, Cooperstown cannot handle a Hall of Fame crowd plus a regular season game crowd. It would not be possible. The place to play, there would have to be a field that would be really retrofitted for it to be a major league field. The amount of money that baseball spends to do a game at Fort Bragg, to do a game in Williamsport, to do a game in at Bristol, you're talking millions of dollars spent. And MLB already spends millions of dollars on the Hall of Fame. I would tell you that they're not looking to spend another set of millions to do a regular season game where you also have hotel issues. The nice hotel there, the Audacy, is full with Hall of Famers that weekend. Believe me, the players aren't going to stay in an Airbnb in Albany. Not allowed. So you've got room issues. Secondly, thirdly, fourthly, moving it to off season. The purpose of Cooperstown, they make their year. The stores do the Hall of Fame. That weekend is a huge, huge weekend. I don't know if you know this, weather in the winter in Cooperstown, less than optimal. when we went up there with the announcement in January for Ichiro and CC, it was so cold. The streets were empty, stores empty, hotel empty. People are not going to be able to get to Cooperstown in the numbers that they normally would if you're doing it in a different part. Therefore, you got to have it during the course of the season. So add it all up, and this is the best of what you would call the worst, and I get it, but people in Seattle were focused on the Hall of Fame. They also were watching their game. People in New York may have been doing both. Hard to know, but there's been no solution to the problems you're bringing up.
But it seems like something where you want the current players to also have an opportunity to celebrate those players that are going into the Hall of Fame, and you don't give those guys the opportunity to do so. What if you surrounded it with the All-Star Week? Like, why is it not something that you just put in All-Star Week and you just say, hey, the game is on?
Because it's in Cooperstown.
I understand. Listen, yeah, but not every All-Star game. I mean, All-Star player would be going there, and not every fan is going to All-Star. There aren't that many different players going into the Hall of Fame each year. And what I'm saying is that you have a break there. You have a Wednesday and a Thursday after the All-Star break where there is nothing on the schedule. So I just think that there are so many games. There's such a big window and a big schedule that Major League Baseball has, that this is something that I feel like they can easily fix. Because right now it's like you are the younger generation of people, and because of how long it takes to become a Hall of Famer, you just forget about these players that are going into the Hall of Fame. And that just doesn't sit right with me, because the whole point of the Hall of Fame is to remember the greats of the game. And I just feel like this is MLB is dropping the ball by having it be such a busy schedule surrounding Enshrinement Day.
There are practical reasons. You can't have two MLB-led events at the same time in different places. You just don't have the personnel. The commissioner can't be in two places at once, and he's got to be at the All-Star game, and he's got to be at the Hall of Fame, where there's days of things and appearances by Rob or any commissioner at the Hall of Fame, and appearances during the All-Star break. So that's something that is considered when you're trying to do the World Baseball Classic during the All-Star break, or the Olympics maybe during the All-Star break come 2028. And scheduling is going to become such a big issue. And you're right, scheduling in terms of baseball, it is complicated because it's not one game a week like the NFL or a couple games a week like the NBA. You're playing every day. So any sort of break is going to have a major impact on the schedule. And if you pile things on at the same time, you're just not, there's no capacity for the MLB events department, the commissioner's office, owners. There's just no capacity to be in two places at once. I am sympathetic toward what you're saying, because often baseball, people say, oh, they step on their own toes. They don't market properly. They don't take advantage. But there's always a reason why things are the way they are.